Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Cool.
But just in terms of public understanding of this,
Well, that's a whole different issue.
well, no, because it was beige colour when it came to us previously, and now it's the same colour as the neighbouring, and even further down around Sydenham, for example, it's the same thing. So it's really unclear where the zoning actually applies versus where the different intensification happens.
Yeah. I think in terms of the iconology that's been used here, if you look at the R&D zone, it has an area, as I understand it, that's dotted in blue, and the residential suburban density area has is an area that's an overlay of red dots.
Which is very hard to
That's
pick
flood
up on
management
that.
area, flex management, floor area.
But if you looked at the Sydenham area, you don't have any
RSDT,
dots.
you're quite right. I think,
it is really
actually, councillor, sorry. Yeah, we can make it clearer.
Can I say, I really like the pages that you showed us, which were the A4 around these local areas. So I just think,
Okay. So we're now down to how this is actually expressed. We're agreed that it's actually what should be expressed.
Yes.
Okay. And you've taken that on board. Excellent. Is
So
there any
can
other?
Sorry, Madam Chair, can we please just make a bullet point to
Yes.
remind us of that?
Yes,
that
you
the,
absolutely may.
mapping
Yep.
notification needs to be made clearer.
Yep, that's cool. Any other general questions? Going, you sure?
No, this isn't a question, but I would like to bring to your attention, if you don't mind, just paragraph 6.2. That paragraph notes that there is still a little bit of work to do, which we haven't been able to complete before we've come to you today. And I just want to be sure that you're comfortable with that. It's not changing any of the content of the chapter. It's simply more information that we're waiting to go into the section 32 to support what we're promoting in the chapter for natural hazards and also for new neighbourhood provisions.
Okay.
And lastly, just to reflect the discussion that we had around the commercial centres and that urban design rule, perhaps we need to list another bullet point that says something like, for Sydenham, Sumner and Littleton, the provision of urban design in the earlier draft shall apply, something like that.
Yep. Paul?
We actually discussed looking at how we can activate the provision of some community space for perhaps transportation within some of these large suburban centres that are expanding, and whether there needed to be a floor size activation point. So
We did, and I think we only did it for the new ones, didn't we? I think we were only able to do it for the new ones. We had quite a long discussion about that.
Yeah, we did. Did we actually put a floor size attached to that, or an expansion of a floor size if they've already passed it?
The outcome of the discussion at the last workshop was that as part of phase 2, outline development plans would be prepared for all our key activity centres, and through that process we can plan the location of public transport facilities, for instance. In addition to that, as part of phase 2, we were to develop provisions to take financial contributions towards those facilities identified on the outline development plan for that centre, and that work would include identification of the appropriate threshold.
So development contributions could also be land as part of their space.
Yeah, land or money could be taken through provisions on financial contributions in the district plan, but we wouldn't be able to duplicate those with development contributions.
Okay, I've cancelled you a cup of coffee for the afternoon on the basis that you'll be finished in 3 minutes. Is that fair? Jimmy?
Review your original 9.3, particularly mention if we approve the amendment section 32.
We haven't finished it yet.
And draft the chapters, you were under the 5.3, am I right? But all those the chapter, whether it's a 3.3, all those the chapter in there. I mean your recommendation. 9.3. All those lists will be under the
Those are additional changes to be made.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. I've changed under 9.3, just before we started the meeting, it should relate to 6.1 and
Not
6.2.
5.3.
5.3 was a mistake, that was an older version, so
But
my
yeah,
apologies.
yeah. My question is, but how about the other one, the other chapters?
Beg your pardon?
I mean, because all those, the section 32 and the chapter all in here, am I right? If some of the chapter we have not yet to be reviewed, whether we put in here or not.
No,
No,
no.
just
The
let them
second
go.
phase of chapters will come to you to go through this exact same process.
Yes.
So, no,
Still the
we're only
same.
talking about the priority chapters that you've already been through today.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Ref.
Thank you.
Just so we don't forget, the mail,
Oh, yes.
yes. So we want that shifted to be considered in part of phase 2.
So
You
that
okay
is
with that?
another bullet point.
Yeah.
Yep, you good with that? Good?
Yes.
Excellent. Can I put these No.
So that's
Yanni.
item 1 in the industrial park, yeah.
So the mail is delayed? Yep.
So we'll say we'll take any provisions, objectives, policies, rules relating to the mail site out,
Yep.
and we'll bring them forward again as part of phase 2.
Brilliant, thank you.
Awesome. Yanni, is this...
So I just wanted to check on, and unfortunately the mayor's gone, but in terms of the process from here, just so the public are clear and we're clear, we
Yes.
have no agreement with government over what's going to happen. We have no agreement over timeframes, who appoints commissioners,
That
et
that you,
cetera,
Mike.
et cetera. So I just think it's really important that we understand. Basically, this document will go to the minister, but without an agreed process. When it comes back to us, we are able to make changes based on anything or just on what the minister says, and then it goes out for public consultation.
So I think firstly, I mean, while we don't have an order in council in place by the government, there obviously has been ongoing dialogue regarding that. So as the Mayor pointed out, this is submitted in anticipation of that. And I think basically if you look at 9.2, it does say subject to the satisfactory approval of the government's order in council. So we're not recommending we submit that until the order in council is actually signed.
Sorry, do you mean we don't give it, so we approve it to go to the minister today, but we don't do that until the order in council is signed?
That's what we're recommending, that because we believe that to be imminent, but until that's signed, we wouldn't recommend submitting this to the minister for the very reasons you've outlined.
And how can we know given that it's taken so long, when can we know what the...
Well, that's something you've delegated to the mayor and to a small group of councillors who have met on a number of occasions with SERA and MFE officials, SERA officials, to discuss that.
But we did that before we'd done this, so we've done this ahead of that process being concluded.
Well, we've done that because we anticipate the timeframes we're working towards. That's what we outlined at the outset. So we're anticipating a timeline. We know we have to, the alert says 2016 to get that. We're on a very fine timeline. So we've done this based on all that knowledge that's been built up through that dialogue. Yes, we still need to see the final order in council, but we're basically getting ourselves to a position so that once that's signed, we're in a position to submit that. And ideally that would be signed in order for us to be able to submit that by the 9th.
Right.
9th of June.
Okay.
And so just the submissions. So
Submission processes.
once it comes back from the minister.
Once it comes back from the minister, we can make change. We can only make changes in respect of the matters raised by the minister. And if we chose not to make changes in accordance with those ministerial suggestions, because they're only suggestions, we simply have to give reasons as to why we don't. Then council still has to approve the entire document to be notified publicly, at which point the submission process begins.
So when we just, the point I really want to understand is when we approve it to be notified publicly, if more information comes to light in a few weeks' time, new issues are raised that we haven't foreseen, do we have the ability to change what we publicly notify on that basis?
We don't have the ability to make that choice ourselves, but we would have the ability to submit on the review, as councils always have had the ability to submit on their own drafts.
Okay, can I put these staff recommendations now with the changes as suggested in front of you. It's moved by Paul. And were you moving it or? You're moving it, and seconded by Pauline. Okay, we're good? Can I put these? Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carried. Thank you all.
Thank you.
It would be awesome to actually get that off the table.
Thank you.
Thank you.